So we are back at 406 Garage to see if Ben has found the perfect classic truck. I mean, he's got a lot of options, but he might have found the perfect one. So we are back here at 406 Garage. You guys have seen this truck before, and I said that Ben was working on getting it all done up. We even did our nice cinematic shot of the fender, I think, last time.
Yeah.
This truck was in here.
The old fender, new fender.
It's finally done and back, and I said I'd show it to you guys, so here it is. What is it? It's an international truck. What, like?
So it's a 1200. The 1200 means it's a 3/4 ton. So it's a 67 1200 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive V8 International Harvester pickup. The guy we got this from, he actually called us. He's local here. He actually only lives about 6 miles from here. And he bought this truck brand new here in town. There was a dealership here. It was called Marshall Motors in Bend, Oregon. And he bought it new. He gave me the original title. Like that, it was $2 to register it back in the day. Like it's the original little tiny title. And it's always been his going to town truck, his going to the hardware store truck, his wood cutting truck. Like cut tons and tons of firewood in this thing. And it's one of those trucks where when we got it, this door was open and the window was down when he was cutting wood, and he dropped a tree on the top of the door. So you can see, okay, this is not the original door. The original door is still in the truck. We did keep it, but it was damaged so far beyond repair that I had this door, much like the fender, and we decided that it was close enough and it just needed to be preserved. But the paint on the truck, you can see there's a little bit of paint work on the hood and the cowl and the roof, but this color right here, that's all original paint. And then we live in the high desert, you know, here where it's dry, so there's no rust on this truck. It's incredible. It's a time capsule. I feel like it's really hard to find them this original and this honest. And it's not perfect, it's not restored, but that to me is way cooler. So that door is not a perfect match, but it also kind of goes with the rest of the truck. The fender that we had is a perfect match. We had it all straightened and put back on. We were fortunate that we had that. This does match. I don't think that if anybody told you that wasn't the original fender, that they would think it wasn't. The door, obviously, you can tell is not, but. So we took this to our paint and body guy locally here who does what I call patina polish, and he wet sanded and polished the whole truck and took off all the little overspray and the little Bondo and the primer and the spray paint and stuff like that. So now you can see all the little dents and dings and the little flaws, but if you run your hand down it, this thing's just smooth as butter. I mean, there was a repair right here, you can see. We sanded off all the Bondo there so you can see the primer, but it's, you know, it's all waxed and sealed. You can see the dents and dings here in the tailgate, you know, because it was used for cutting wood and whatever, but the tailgate works perfect. And the bed is like straight as an arrow. There's the original door. We saved that door because if somebody really, really, really wanted to get picky, you could pull that outer skin off. It's a tremendous amount of work, but you could pull that outer skin off, pull the skin off the other door, and actually reskin the door if you wanted to.
This, to me, is the perfect way to do a truck. It's,
yeah,
because the base was so good.
Right. I would rather drive this as an all original truck than a fully restored truck, because this tells the story of this truck for 50 years.
Exactly, and why, since it's in such good shape to start with, and it was original.
That's why
it's
that's why it was important to do this and to put a door on it and to fix the little things, even though that was a ton of work. Because the guy that we got the truck from, his fear was, because this was smashed and the door was messed up, he called us to buy the truck to basically use it for parts to fix other trucks. Like he was,
even though the rest of it was so,
he was okay with it just getting taken apart because he knew that it was so smashed. And I took one look at it after we got it, and I found this. Once I knew I had this fender, I was like, we've got to save this truck. It is such a nice truck.
So you could have easily, with such a good base to start from, restored the whole truck, like done a
100%.
full restoration.
Yeah.
But you would have erased
everything.
50 years of history
of his story.
That's here.
One guy's story.
So now you have an amazing looking truck that's shiny and beautiful and still has its 50 years of history
right
here to see.
Dings, scratches, and I mean, you know, we washed and cleaned all this. He painted these a long time ago. We didn't do that. But that's how clean the engine was, just with soap and water and wash. We didn't degrease it or anything. I mean, it's still got the original windshield washer bottle. Like I never see that. All the insulation's still here, which means the pack rats have never been in here.
Look at the fender wells. They're completely as solid as can be.
Yeah. It's got the factory battery hold down right there.
International special there.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean, like, it's such a good base that, yeah, it would have been a super, super easy restoration.
Yeah.
To put it to like a showroom restoration. But you would have erased its entire life.
And this is becoming so hard to find an original truck that you can save.
What blows me away about it is on the inside, and this is with a lot of these internationals, the stuff like the stickers.
Yeah.
Like they're still perfect. Like perfectly legible, and the gauges, like.
And every gauge works.
Yeah, the gauges and the dash in these trucks and all is like, well, I mean, the Summit gauge might not be an original thing, but.
And then look at, stay right there. So on Internationals, on this particular model, there's the build sheet. It's called a line set ticket, it's what International calls them. That's every factory option was put on the assembly line on this truck when it was built. On the newer trucks, the square bodies, they put them in the glove box. On the older ones, they're on the visor or they're under the seat.
It blows me away on a truck like that, like the dash and the gauges and all that. Like I said, this would have been such an easy, like, full restore.
And you can see here where his arm was always rubbing on the door, you know?
And that's exactly it. That's 50 years of this truck's history and life would have been erased.
There's your shop dog.
Lucy approves.
And unbelievably, you can see it under this here. This is the original seat material right here. He had a seat cover on the top and bottom. The top seat cover ripped. This is actually, you know, it's torn, but if you sit in here, this is still good, firm springs and soft and everything like that. I mean, I wouldn't change it if it was me. No,
I'm glad you didn't, and I'm glad you did not restore this truck.
Me too.
This is perfect to me.
Yeah. And I don't think that they're just getting too hard to find when they're still original. Anybody can restore. This is what I say a lot of times to customers that ask about restoring them. I said, anybody can restore a truck. Anybody can write a check and go to a body shop and say, here's $100,000 or whatever, make it brand new, put it
out. Not like anybody.
Well, but I mean, I'm saying the generic term. You can put an LS in it, you can put modern drivetrain in it, you can do this, you can put brand new upholstery, you can have it painted, blah, 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 and you can write the check and it's brand new. Whoever wants to do that can go and do that, and you can do that to any truck. You can't do this to any truck.
No. Once I said,
once this is gone, it's gone forever.
If its life here is erased with a restoration, it is gone. Like I said, that's it. So this to me is perfect.
Like I said before, you can see there's kind of a light blue, dark blue, light blue, dark blue. So he definitely sprayed some paint on this at different times in its life. And what's funny is he fixed this fender at one time, but if you run your hand in here, and I don't know if the camera would pick it up or not, he obviously went through a road construction zone at some point when they were chip sealing, and there's little bits of tar inside the fender on this, just on this side. and you can run your hand, you can feel it in here. Well, when he did the little spray here and he fixed these dents, he just painted right over the tar. He didn't even take it off. So the tar has little blue paint flecks on it right there. You can see the texture, see?
Oh yeah.
Like, that's how you can tell the truck's just honest. I mean, to me, that just speaks to the truth of the truck and the story of it and the one guy driving it for its whole life, you know?
Speaking of driving it.
Yeah, should we go take it for a drive?
We absolutely should. Let's go do that.
All right. Of course, the gate's not gonna open now. Nope, missed the sensor.
So you can get a 50-year-old truck to work just fine, but you can't run the gate?
Yeah. My sensor, if you're not really close to it, it gets really mad. See, it's right there. I put rocks around it so you don't run over it, but
there it goes.
There it goes. Really?
Does it have gas?
Yeah, I feel like it does.
You feel like it does, or it does? Have you ever put gas in it?
No. Well, let's go down around the block a little bit. We're not going to go that far. I'll make sure to give it more gas. You just edit out the bad parts.
We don't do that here. No. Did you say let's go down around the block?
Sure.
What block? We're in the desert.
The mile-long desert block. I mean, you know, a block in the desert is a little further than a block in a city.
Just a little.
You know, when you give directions and you live out in the country, you know, you tell them to go down to the white mailbox and turn left at the blue truck and look for the tractor. And it's not about street signs and street names.
You quite literally have a tractor in your driveway, and that's how I find it.
That's true. I did that for good reason. So that people like you that don't like to use technology and GPS can find it much easier.
I am quite literally using technology right now.
Oh, well, there you go. But it's new to you.
It is, and I'm not good at it.
I'm only turning around here.
Oh.
We're not going. There's no outlet. We can't go that way. There's no outlet.
You mean we just can't easily
turn
go
around
that
at the
way?
yellow sign. See? Country directions. It's warming up now.
Yeah.
Heater works. I don't know if they'll pick it up the sound or not, but tachometer works. Oil pressure, temperature, speedometer, we're going 45. Fuel gauge works. Battery gauge works. Everything. It's like a brand new 50-year-old truck. Ish. Just driving down the country back roads. You know, showing that gate you always show.
Everybody knows your gate, but no one knows where it is.
Thank goodness. Yeah, because you always do the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing where you're like, we're back.
And we are.
Yet again.
Again. One of these days he's going to change the gate code on me, so he has to actually let me in.
Yep, that's coming. That's how you know when the friendship starts to get a little sketchy.
Did that visor just lower itself automatically?
It did because
when we pointed towards the sun, the visor came down on its own?
Yeah.
That's that 50-year-old technology?
It's like I don't know how much you know about the old Cadillacs, but the old 50s Cadillacs had this thing called the Autronic eye, and it would sense when there was no light in the sky anymore, and it would turn the headlights on automatically.
My pickup does that.
Yeah, that was in 1959.
Well, my pickup's 2014. This high beams turn on and off, but
right, it should.
Automatic visors? I've never seen that before.
Well, I mean, you know, the farmers needed that kind of stuff for when they get up in the morning and go put crops out, they needed to not get blinded.
Is that why there's always a pothole at the road that turns towards the sun? So
Yeah.
when you hit the hole, the visor falls down.
Yeah, it's easy, automatic-ish.
Hey Ben, why is that scuff on your shop door right there?
Do we have to talk about that?
We do now.
Oh man.
Remember that hole we don't edit out the bad parts?
So that was one of the very first times that I was using my rollback tow truck, and I was not as versed in the swing angle as I should have been. So as I pulled out, I turned a little early, and the swing angle with the tail of the rollback decided it would give a little
do that again. I'm totally gonna cinematic that.
little pinstripe down the side. They call that desert pinstripe or whatever. Yeah. Didn't hurt the tow truck. Tow truck can't even tell I did it.
Well, of course. But
the side of the shop has a new racing stripe.
Oh. Hi.
Yeah, Lucy would really like it if you would.
So that's why there's a dent in the side of the shop.
Yeah, I mean, but again, just like this truck, it's character.
You can't erase the history.
No, you can't erase it.
That's now the history of the shop.
I could buy a new piece of trim, I guess. But did you do the little cinematic or the B-roll where you filmed the stickers that I put on both sides of all these trucks?
No, you want me to advertise for you too?
Well, I think everybody knows who I am at this point, but
just in case they don't.
Well, we put that on all the trucks. It's kind of like back in the day, you used to have the little dealer badge that dealer would stick on the back, like the little pop metal things. You'd see them on all old cars. I think those are cool. So I know it's only a sticker, but we do that one, and then there's the cool International Harvester Permit one on the other side.
I like the International Harvester Permit.
That's the employee.
Let's go look at that.
So that's that's Fort Wayne, Indiana. If you worked in Fort Wayne, you had this sticker on your car, and it had a permit number. We put 406 garage right there, but normally there'd be a pound sign and then your permit number, which is like your parking permit. And I actually got a truck, it's probably about 10 years ago, and it had this sticker on it, and it was on the front window, it was on the inside, and it had the permit number. And I messaged a guy I know who's a historian and asked him what it was, and he told me about what it actually was. So this is a recreation of that sticker with our little logo on the bottom, but this is would have been a employee parking permit sticker if you worked at the factory back in the 60s and 70s. So I thought it was kind of cool to have it on there.
Yeah, I like that one.
I guess the best way to describe this truck, and I think same as what you say too, is this is just about as honest of a truck as you can get.
Yeah,
there's nothing to hide. There's been no work done that you can't see, and every dent and every scratch and every flaw is visible, and it's quite obvious, you know, if you look at it, where or why or how it got there based on how the truck was used. Mm-hmm. To me, this is a more valuable truck than a restored truck.
To me as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot more money put into a restored truck.
For sure.
Not that patina polish wasn't.
No, there was a tremendous amount of labor to make it look like this.
I would rather have this than restored. Yes. So now that we've done our cruise around the block, as you call it,
the block,
and we didn't run out of gas.
No, thank goodness.
Here's the real question. You buy a lot of things, you sell a lot of things, you keep a lot of things.
This one is up for adoption. That's a, funny
adoption.
Way. Yeah, adoption.
Yeah, adopt.
It is available. I have posted it on my Instagram, just a couple little pictures and stuff, and the response.
At 406 Garage.
The response has been overwhelming. So I don't suspect it will be here very long, but if somebody was interested, to get a hold of us sooner than later.
But would you be super upset if it did stay around a while?
No, because I enjoy driving it, and Lucy jumps right in and goes for a ride with us. So, I enjoy driving it. It's cool as heck.
Yeah, I like it a lot. This is, I think, one of the coolest ones here, just because it's so 100% like it rolled off the factory floor.
Yep.
And its life is, like I said, its whole life is right there.
The whole story of the truck is right here.
So it is for sale, adoption.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a hold of us, 406garage.com, 406garage on Instagram. Our phone number, email, everything's on there. Just get a hold of us.
And I'll put all that down down below. I don't know why you say, I'll put all it down below. You know where it is. There's nowhere else you can put it. So
there's only one place it could go.
Yeah, it's down there.
The only thing that people, the silly YouTubers always do, they say comment below. They always want it. They're trying to like comment and they
I've said that, and then I've watched that and watched me say that and be like, why did I say comment down below? Where else are you gonna comment?
Right.
It's
one of my favorite.
Just comment. You know, if you can comment up here, do it. I would love to see it. Here's one, and I won't say down below. Comment on whether you prefer this type of, not restoration, this type
preservation.
Of preservation, or do you prefer a full-on restoration?
Because this is preserving the imperfections.
Yes. That's why it's perfectly imperfect.
Right.
That's a good way to say that. I should have wrote that down.
Should trademark that.
Yeah, we're gonna trademark that. But comment your preference. Do you prefer
you want it
serve
all original?
Do you prefer
or fully restored?
A preserved truck like this or a fully restored immaculate truck? We both clearly prefer this, but then there's restored as well. So comment wherever you want. If it's down below, that's fine. If you can put it up there, like I said, I'd love to see that.
Well, I clearly prefer this because that's an original paint truck, that's an original paint truck, that's an original paint truck, and that's an original paint Peterbilt. All of those that are sitting right here. There's a whole bunch more outside, but like everyone that's inside right here.
Do you have any that are restored?
I have. I don't currently.
Because you prefer preserved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Two that I've had that were restored were both restored and sold to customers because I didn't want to have something that nice. I was too scared to scratch it. I literally, I'd rather jump in this or jump in that. I drive that all the time. That goes in the snow, that goes in the rain, that goes up to get Christmas trees. Like, I don't care. It's got sap on it, it's got tree bark on it, it's got dog poop in it.
Which is how it should, well, I don't know about dog poop, but that's how it should be used.
Yeah, exactly. I pick my kids up from school in it, you know, we use it all the time. And it's original paint, and it has some rust, and it has dents, and it has dings, and it has flaws.
That is what I like about this place, is like most of what's around here you can get in and fire up and drive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to have them.
So, runs and drives. We had a nice little cruise around the block, as you call it.
Block.
So, should we show them our next adventure?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have multiple adventures, but the very next one that we are going to be tackling with yet another one of our friends. It's going to be a joint effort.
The next adventure is big enough that it's more than just us. We had to bring in a third and heavy equipment and trailers and
semi truck and trailer and piece of equipment and chains and binders and winches.
Let's go sneak peek that.
Okay, let's go take a look.
All right, we're going. So we were arguing back and forth whether we should take my truck or whether we should take Ben's truck.
We just talked about driving. Everything out here is fun to drive, and it's like, then why would we jump in your 2014 Ram?
Exactly. When we got, look at the lineup sitting in front of your front door. This is ridiculous. Like, this is what just sits right outside your door to hop in.
Yeah, I can jump in any of these and drive them
at any given time.
And these are two of the, okay.
Your
the Scout
view
is
ridiculous. So
the Scout is not original paint, but this truck and this truck are both original paint trucks.
Well, let's
we're gonna drive the cowboy truck.
So what do we have, Ben?
Yard art.
Yard art.
Actually, this should be going to your house, really.
It should be going to my house.
It's not.
This is amazing.
It's not going to your house, but It's going to
Not
my
yet.
house. Not yet. It's going to my house. I have
This
a...
is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. It's a mid-40s Chevrolet cab on a chassis with military axles and chains and a plow.
Look at this.
We just got done talking to the property owner who's telling us kind of the story about it. And the old guy that owned this property originally built log homes. And this is what he used to skid logs around the property and load logs and stack logs. And like, this was his work truck.
This is amazing.
And he clearly built it himself.
Yes.
There's
Well,
an awful... This is a lot of Jed Clampett.
This is frame rail.
Yep, with spring hangers.
There's the spring hangers.
Yeah, the cutting blade edges that form the top.
This is all cutting edge off of a plow or a tractor blade.
Yeah.
That's what all this, the winch mount is all cutting edge.
This looks like some railroad I-beam or something maybe, I don't know. Then that spring-loaded
So
pintle
the
hitch.
winch runs
Would
the
you say
blade.
like a dozer blade?
Yeah. And look at the blade, the spikes. You undo this, and they flip down to be spikes, and they're either rippers or to dig into the ground.
Look at the chains on the front tires too, the tire chains.
I know, we might need to keep these for the truck. This is amazing. Look at this is a jerry can mount used as a battery tray. Why is there a hole in the valve cover?
Why not?
Why not? That's a good question.
I mean, it hasn't run in a while. The crazy thing
This
is,
is a little pop-out window.
yeah, it has license plate front and rear and they match. Like
Best-
this thing
best-
was
best
on the
part
road.
about it, something took a dump on the seat.
This was on the road at one point. I don't know when because there's no stickers, but it has a front and rear plate that match.
This is an electrical breaker box
Yes.
used as a toolbox.
Sure, it's probably watertight.
Well, yeah.
And there's just a little bit of pack rat doo-doo in here. And
Do we dare open the door? Wow.
look in the seat and
Oh my God.
I think the Hetna virus is probably in here.
Oh yeah, I think we're already contaminated.
Probably. Look at all the levers, the shifter and then the brake and then the four-wheel drive and the two-wheel, four-wheel transfer case.
Probably a can of starting fluid
Probably.
went with it.
Or lighter, I don't know.
This is amazing. Look at the log extension. So this was his log skidder bulldozer.
He built log homes back in the 60s and 70s, the property owner was telling us. And this is, he described it as his log skidder, but he had a bunch of log piles on the property and he'd go pick up the logs and bring them up to his decked area where he was building the house. And this boom and winch crane setup was what he used to lift the log, and he'd drive the truck up and set the log on the pad where he was building the house. The plow was because he did dirt work to do the roads out here, and then also he had to plow snow.
Because you can take this, look at it, you could take the cable
Right, and go
put
the
it
other
around
way.
the other round of the pulley,
Yeah.
and then go off the boom.
Right, that's
so
what
the
he...
same winch is depending on which way you wrap that pulley.
Yeah, and then if you look on the front,
That's like borderline genius.
yeah, on the front he had little chain hook deals here. So my guess is he had some way to chain this blade up to here.
Oh, probably
on
lift
both...
the blade.
Well, you
and
lift
then-
the blade there, and this
then
was going
hook
to
it.
hold it if you weren't using the winch.
and then run the winch off the back of the boom.
Correct. Yeah.
This is amazing.
He really. There was actually a lot of thought that went into it.
There is.
I'm sure it's very lightweight.
Wow. Look at the pedals are almost buried.
Yeah. See the toolbox on the running board too?
Yeah. And
Lots
this
of
is
turds.
a hand crank worm drive winch.
Yeah.
This turns, there's a whole nother pulley and winch down here that this turns. I don't know what.
Yeah, but there's a
ran it.
battery right here.
So did an engine go?
Was there some kind of motor that connected to,
I don't know.
because this is a brake.
Yeah.
This is a chain drive mechanism here. What did this go to though? And see, he's got, I don't know why you have, I guess that's so it would
Oh,
spin
that's the lock.
the locks to keep this
So
from
this
going.
is a whole shackle, and you would winch something up,
And then put a pin in there.
put the shackle bolt in there, and that's your lock.
I'm just confused as to what, there was some sort of a motor mechanism that drove
Here's the
this.
shaft.
I know, but
So you'd think it'd have to sit on this side, but
Oh,
like I
this
said,
is
that's
the-
a battery tray.
yeah, that's just a door panel. I actually set that there a little bit ago. There might have been something here that, I don't know. I don't know.
This is just super cool.
You have to like reverse engineer it in your head. And the
So-
tires are holding air. After, like, we didn't pump
yeah.
them up. They've been sitting here for,
That one over there's low, but it's holding.
right.
So here's the real question. Well, the real dilemma.
There's two questions.
One, why is one, but why not after you look at this? Two, the dilemma is you were way back in the woods.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere.
There's nothing around. There's some power lines, so there's kind of a power line access trail, but we have to get this out of here. So this is our next recovery mission. And you will see more about that in the next video, because that's it for this one. Goodbye.